over the weekend in Chicago. It was, man, horrible. Over 50 people shot in one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
like 56.
Yeah. And, the whole time they're telling us that crime is not a problem. Trump is, he's just crazy because he wants to do what he did in D.C. there. Let's show this. He was asked about that today, too, at the press conference. Is what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe.
Peter.
You're not going to be shot,
I was
Peter.
just there.
Yeah. So
Oh, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Went to the Smithsonian Zoo, saw the pandas.
So he's basically saying they're going to go into Chicago. Here's the governor of Illinois being asked about it, and let's see what he has to say about what happened over the weekend.
You're going to hear people, especially this past weekend, 54 shot, 7 dead.
Yeah.
They're going to say the city's not safe. Would you ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after 9 o'clock at night even to come down to the city from O'Hare?
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
So,
But you see, that's the thing, though. Give an example. Like,
yeah. Tell us.
Terrible journalism.
Tell us. And she's not going to push back.
Oh,
She's teeing him up.
Yep.
People are going to say, 50 people were shot.
I got to ask this.
Yeah, because exactly. You're telling us that Trump is just targeting Chicago because he hates black people.
Right.
But then you have 50 people shot in one weekend.
Yeah, give me an example. Cite something there.
And you just want to say, listen, people get shot in cities all the time. Like, that's basically what he said. But Trump, people get shot in cities all the time, but we got to look at what Trump is doing. And this guy...
The state can be red, right? Majority.
Exactly, but the city is still Democrat run. Because people point... They point to Memphis, they point to Tulsa, they point to Birmingham, but those cities are blue. And they still have Democrat mayors and stuff like that. This is I forget who this guy is, but he's pretty much going to do the same thing.
How do you respond to the argument that there were something like 50 plus shootings, 52 people, I should say, were shot in Chicago, 30 different shootings over the holiday weekend, 7 people killed? Aren't numbers like that still a problem that your city needs to address? What more can be done to address that?
Well, I think that what we need to do is we also had a mass shooting in a Catholic school.
So no, not going to address it at all. Just what can be dude asked him, are those numbers still a problem, and what can be done to stop that? He totally goes on to something else. Deflects too. We had a shooting at a Catholic school.
We also have had many instances where the administration has really escalated, exacerbated the violence in our country, in our cities. Trump is a dictator. I think we got to be very clear. He's trying to normalize violence. He's trying to normalize military deployment in American cities like LA, DC, Chicago, and many others to come. But what we have not seen is really a systemic investment that will actually address the core issues. I had shootings in my ward. One of them was a tragic shooting of an unhoused neighbor. So the Trump administration is saying that they're going to address the issue of unhoused residents by putting them in jails, in concentration camps.
How do you...
Not answering
Nothing
the question.
he said connected at all.
Nope.
Made no sense.
But he got his point out there. Trump is a dictator.
And that was all the anchor was supposed to do. Ask a question and look like you're listening.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Tell me more about this dictator part. Yeah. And then Brandon Johnson was up there grandstanding about how he is not going to let Trump come in there.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago.
We don't want crime fixed.
Force in the city of Chicago.
There's the mayor, the governor right there.
In the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
Except the people that keep getting shot. We don't care about their humanity. Yeah, so he's out there telling them we're not going to accept no federal people in Chicago.
Yeah, because if Trump does send the troops in and does shut it down, he's going to show that there's incompetency there.
Right. This is how easy it was.
And they can't, because then the citizens are really going to wake up, because I'm seeing them lighting him up.
Yeah.
in these town hall meetings.
There's a whole movement. I mean, Trump referenced it too. I forget what it's called, but I think it's Turn Chicago Red or something like that.
Right.
Where they've been going to all the city hall meetings.
Right.
They've been going to his meetings and like you said, lighting him up.
What's the black guy from Florida, Byron
Donaldson.
Byron Donaldson.
Yeah.
When there was a press conference where he was addressing, he asked these mayors about the budget. New York spends $6 billion on illegals.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, I think they're the same.
Yeah.
Close to it.
Yep.
Right? You're telling me that none of that money could go towards policing and making this, for your citizens, safer.
Yeah.
Right? Where, okay, fine, implement curfews like most people are doing now.
Right.
Because we know that that's a lot of the problems is the unruly youth. But there's ways to curb that. You know what I mean? And like you said, like you and I were talking, Gloucester down here have, and I know Wildwood just did. Well, Wildwood had that, but Gloucester just have a thing where they're saying, hey, if you're a young person and you're under 18 and you're out, you get caught committing any kind of crime or just whatever it is, your parents can be, you know, your guardian.
They can be charged
right,
with negligence, with child abandonment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these parents are just dropping their kids off in these locations and letting them do whatever they want to get them out of their hair. And their kids at that age are going to get into stuff, especially when they're in large crowds.
Right.
You know,
which is what's happening in the cities.
And in the cities, it's 10 times worse because they got access to guns. And it's funny because these are the places that have the strictest gun laws in the entire country.
Yeah.
But they got so many guns. These young dudes get guns all the time.
That's true.
So, yeah. So Trump says they're going in. They're going to go into Chicago. I want to see if they can clean this up. It's going to be wild.
And he flips the voting. I think he probably will.
Well, did you see how Illinois is gerrymandered? Again, like you see how they did Texas, where I think Jasmine Crockett and all of them, you know, they were putting up this big fuss about how they're going to change the districting. Have you ever seen Illinois districting?
No.
Bro, it's one of the wildest things. Hold on, let me see.
I know it's been blue for a long time. So.
Yeah, but that's because Democrats have been doing this gerrymandering thing forever, and now that the Republicans are trying to do it, you know, it's the end of the freaking world. But let me see if I can find Illinois' districting map.
I'm going to read this person's comment. Chad Royer.
Okay.
Who are these people? I can't even listen to these idiots. I think the worst part is you believe you have a point, but there's not a focused understanding of reality, SMH. I just don't know how we allowed the government to destroy us. I feel bad for the world wars and till the Korean, SMH. We deserve to fall. No one's paying attention. It's horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we might deserve to fall, but we believe in Jesus. So everybody deserves to be condemned, but and this is why we stand in the gap. This is why we're bringing it to light, and this is why we
pray.
We pray, and we also attempt to do what we can.
But the Democrats are saying no more prayers. No more thoughts and prayers.
Well, they're doing it because the leaders are benefiting off of the dismay and the chaos. It's not because they anything other than they benefit off of this. They're being paid to, create unrest.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. There's money and there's profit in chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, until there's not. Mm-hmm. And that's the point. It's very short term.
Yeah, we talked about it before. The numbers on LA with the homelessness, because, there's always been, California is a tropical, climate where, of course, people who are homeless would want to be there because they don't have to worry about the winter, especially.
Well, it depends where you are.
Yeah, it depends where you are. But LA, downtown, that
Southern California.
Southern California, Oakland, whatever it is. But I think it was Joe Rogan that put out the numbers, and he said that they're like $4 billion into it. And when they did the research on the salaries of the people that were put in charge of these programs, we're talking 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 salaries. Who is going to want to fix this problem if they're making that much money, right? So the incentive for them is to keep it going,
right?
And when you look at all of these programs, they're asking for more money and more money. And how do we know that they're not doing anything or it's just being wasted? When Xi Jinping was coming to California, that city was cleaned up super fast.
Yeah, one day.
These people were moved out of the way and made that city pretty. It was possible. And the governor said flat out, when you have a visitor come in, you make your house clean.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to do it.
Right.
But you just don't want to do it because it's not beneficial. These programs need to stay in place so you can make money.
Right. They're huge money makers. Okay, pull this up, Mom. This is Illinois' districting map for the way they've gerrymandered. Now look at these districts and how they're mapped out. Does this make any sense to you?
No, I don't. I'm the only one what I'm looking at. I know
every color is a district.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Look how why do they look like slime blobs everywhere? Like look at this yellow district right here. Can you see that one?
Right.
Why does it connect to St. Louis?
Because that's part of it. Oh no, that's not. That's outside of it.
Missouri.
It looks like.
Yeah.
That's Missouri.
But look at that whole belt right there in the yellow. Like how is that a district? But this is the way they design it so that every district can go blue. So what they do is they find the red regions and then they map out the district so that it includes a big blue city, so that when it comes time to tally the votes, they end up getting more congressional seats that are Democrat.
Right.
Or the senators or everything. So they district it in a way where they get more Democratic seats representation in that state, right?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But they do it that way. And they've been doing that for decades, the gerrymandering thing. And they do it so that you can get, like, I don't even know, what is the party?
So they've been doing it like that, but, when they try to do the whole Texas thing.
Yeah, they went crazy. They went crazy because
these are fascists.
They're doing what the Democrats have been doing forever. So check this out. Federal representation in the 118th Congress, 14 seats are held by Democrats and 3 are held by Republicans. Because that's how you can get more. This is what they do to get more seats for voting in Congress. They set up the state so that the districts will get them more seats. And they're supposed to be able. The reason why they're mad at Texas is because they're supposed to be able to. And this is another reason why they were flooding these cities, these places with illegals, because they're using the census to determine how many representatives they get. Like California, their number of representatives is crazy. But you see, Illinois, it's not a huge state, but it's got 17 seats in Congress. So what they're doing is they flooded in, and then 2020 was the census. Trump was trying to push so that you couldn't count illegals on the census, but the liberal judges shot that down.
Yep.
So you could count illegal immigrants on the census, which then increases your number of congressional seats.
That's why you open the borders.
Exactly.
And you open the floodgates and, flood it with a whole bunch of...
So they play these political games because then when it comes to voting on bills, when it comes to, trying to get anything passed through Congress, if you have more seats, you control.
Yeah. It's pretty much a guarantee.
Yeah. So they've been playing that game for the longest, but what Trump did was he made Texas do their districting mid-decade, because you're supposed to do a census every decade. So like every 2010, 2020, 2030 is supposed to be the next one. But they're doing one in 2025. That's what's flipping everybody out. But there's no law saying you have to do it on the decade. You know what I mean?
Makes more sense.
Yeah. And he wants to get a real tally because he's trying to do it without including the illegal immigrants, and especially after all these people are being deported. So now he's trying to get a real tally of who's actually in these states, because they think that a lot of these numbers are inflated.
Yeah, I believe it.
A lot of these population numbers, because if you inflate your numbers, you get more electoral college votes, and you get more seats in Congress. So there's an incentive there to flood the state and then inflate these numbers.
Right.
If you have people going around doing a census check and they know that there's a bunch of illegals in a house and they say, oh, there's a family of 4 living there. Well, let's just say it's a family of 12. You know what I mean? Like that's how you can inflate the numbers.
Yeah.
So that's why they're flipping out over all of this. But anyway, so we'll see what happens when Trump goes in. I'm really interested to see if he can clean up Chicago the way he did D.C.
I mean, I feel like D.C. is a little different, because he's right there, but Chicago is far away. And
if he send them feds in the way he did, like, did you see how they were approaching everybody on the streets? They put in curfews. Nobody was allowed to be loitering.
Right.
They were checking up on everybody. No smoking outside. No smoking weed outside. If they go into these hoods in Chicago and really crack down and make it hot, make all this gang activity, they're scared to come out. Like, I don't know.
That's what Trinidad is doing, actually. Trinidad has a curfew.
Yeah.
But my cousin, I was talking to my cousin about it, and he said, no, it's not. It's a state of emergency. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to hunt down the criminals. So they tell people get off the street because
if you're on the streets, it shows us who's who. Yeah.
And we're going after them